February 9th, 2018, Pyeongchang, South Korea. 3 billion people are watching the Winter Olympics begin. 50 miles of mountain road away, in a ski resort hotel that isn't even an official Olympic venue, a server has been quietly compromised. Not the stadium, not the organizing committee, a hotel. That server controlled the resort's automation, including the ski gates and the lifts. And at roughly 9 in the morning, Greenwich Mean Time, it became patient zero. Security researchers who later examined that machine were clear about one thing. The attackers didn't stumble into this hotel. They chose it. They chose the launch point, and they chose the hour, a couple of hours before the opening ceremony, giving their weapon just enough time to crawl deep into the surrounding networks before the world started watching. According to the investigators who analyzed it, the plan was for the damage to be seen. Inside the venues, the failures began stacking. Wi-Fi died. Display monitors went black. The official Olympics website went down, and spectators standing at the gates simply could not print their tickets. Security systems that scanned people through the entrances stopped responding. Somewhere in the mountains, the ski lifts stopped moving. Olympic staff spent that night doing something almost no one watching at home would ever know about: rebuilding the backbone of the games by hand in the dark hours between midnight and morning, so that day 2 could happen at all. There was no ransom note, no demand, no stolen data being sold anywhere. Whoever did this didn't want money. They wanted the Olympics to break in front of the world. And then they wanted to be found. The malware got a name almost immediately: Olympic Destroyer. The world's biggest cybersecurity firms pulled it apart within days. And what happened next is the reason this case is still taught, still argued about, still studied. The industry got it wrong, publicly, repeatedly, in real time. Cisco Talos published first, noting the code share techniques with earlier destructive malware. Days later, an Israeli firm announced it had found links to Chinese hacking groups. Then a report emerged, citing intelligence pointing toward a Russian group, only for that same company's own head of intelligence to state flatly that there was no evidence connecting them to the Olympic attack. Microsoft's security team announced they'd found a specific exploit inside the malware, then quietly retracted it. It couldn't be confirmed. A major American newspaper reported that Russian military spies were behind it, sourced to 2 officials who would not be named. And then came the evidence that seemed to end the argument. Buried inside part of the malware was something researchers call a build fingerprint, a hidden internal record of the software tools used to compile a program. Think of it as a receipt left behind by the workshop that made the weapon. That receipt was an exact match, 100% match, to malware belonging to Blue Norov, a unit of the North Korean group Lazarus. It was the smoking gun. Case closed. Except one team refused to believe it. Kaspersky's research team found that match on February 13th. And instead of publishing, they sat on it, because something about it felt wrong. Their reasoning was almost embarrassingly human. North Korea had no motive. Kim Jong-un's own sister was attending that opening ceremony. And when they compared the 2 families of malware side by side, the professional habits didn't match. The North Korean tools used long, serious passwords, 30 characters or more, and never hard-coded them. Olympic Destroyer's password was 123, so they went back to that perfect fingerprint and checked whether it actually described the file it was attached to. It didn't. The receipt claimed the software was built with a toolkit from 1998. The file itself contained components that hadn't existed until 2010. Someone had manually pasted North Korea's identity into their own weapon, betting that a researcher would find it and stop looking. And there was a mistake. 1. A second version of the wiper had been uploaded from France that same day, compiled at 10:42 that morning. In that version, the built-in delay had been stripped out. The attackers wanted destruction immediately, minutes before the ceremony. They were rushing, and in the rush, they forgot to fake the fingerprint. The forgery held everywhere except the one file they built in a panic. The trail forward came from a different direction entirely, not the malware, but the phishing documents sent months earlier to Olympic partners, sponsors, resorts, and government bodies. And those documents carried a mistake of their own. The attackers had built their target list by matching email addresses that simply ended with certain domains. 2 of their Korean targets used very short domain names, and so spearphishing emails written for the Winter Olympics quietly landed in the inboxes of a wood company in Slovakia, a mining firm in Canada, a finance company in Laos, a software firm in Australia, and a real estate business in Germany. A military intelligence operation phished a lumberyard by accident. Those same documents held infrastructure links, and those links reached backwards into earlier attacks on Ukraine and forward to a building at 22 Kirova Street in Khimki, outside Moscow. Insiders called it the Tower. On October 19, 2020, the United States Department of Justice unsealed an indictment naming 6 men, all Russian nationals, all alleged officers of GRU Unit 74455, known to researchers as Sandworm: Yuri Andrienko, Sergei Detistov, Pavel Frolov, Anatoly Kovalev, Artem Ochichenko, Petr Pliskin, ages 27 to 35. Prosecutors alleged the same unit was behind the Ukrainian blackouts, the NotPetya attack, and the targeting of the investigators examining the Salisbury poisoning. The alleged motive, according to prosecutors, Russia had been barred from competing under its own flag at these games over state-sponsored doping, a decision announced 2 months before the attack. All 6 are charged, not convicted. They are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. They have never been arrested. All are believed to be in Russia. Russia denies involvement. The United Kingdom reached the same conclusion with high confidence. The European Union sanctioned the unit months earlier. But here is what still isn't settled. Back in 2018, the researchers closest to this case did not name Sandworm. They offered 3 possible motives and endorsed none. A show of force tied to something we still can't see, a live test of a destructive weapon kept deliberately restrained, or an experiment in something far stranger. Because they noticed one detail that never made sense. The wiper destroyed files across the network. It never destroyed itself. The authors wanted it to be found. If that theory is right, the researchers weren't investigating the attack. They were the attack, test subjects in an experiment to learn how convincingly a nation can wear another nation's face. Because a state that can permanently break attribution doesn't just win one operation, it becomes untouchable. The lesson Olympic destroyer left behind isn't technical. It's this. In cyberspace, evidence can be manufactured, fingerprints can be forged, and the fastest answer is often the one someone planted for you. Real investigators are the ones willing to say, "I don't know yet," while everyone else is already certain. Case file open, 6 men named, none in custody. And somewhere, the question the evidence was built to bury: who was it really?